Okay, I think we can get started. Hopefully you can hear me okay. I hope everybody's staying safe and well and doing that social distances to get us all through this, or keeping those social distances, I should say. My name is Hugh Petersen. I am the product manager as of January for our PIPSpro software for from Standard Imaging. And basically, our PIPSpro is, we like to think of it as TG-142 made easy. Just a couple of introductory things here to start. So basically, here's some smiling faces from Standard Imaging. And it's really why we do what we do. Obviously, cancer affects families, coworkers, friends in so many different ways, either directly or indirectly. And we like to think and really truly feel that our pride in being one of the leading manufacturers of radiation calibration and QA equipment for radiation oncology. And I think it gives us a reason to come to work every day, or in our case right now, work from home to stay safe. But it's something we definitely truly believe in partnering with you for precision instruments. Today, just a little bit of housekeeping. We are recording this, so you'll probably get a email at the end of this to have a link to see it again. If for some reason you have to leave early or you can't stay for the whole thing, we'll get that link to you as well. Uh, it's your microphones are muted right now, but if you have any questions, please feel free to answer or enter a question in the question box, and I'll answer them at the end. And just a little more about Standard Imaging. The company was based in Middleton, Wisconsin, and we're founded in 1989. So we're just celebrating our 30th birthday or so, which is we've been doing this for quite a while, starting with our well chambers and building upon that through the course of the last 30 years, including electrometers, our X-ray line of ion chambers, patient QA software, Adaptivo, and a whole host of other things, including PIPSpro, which we'll go through today. And I think today, what I want, in the interest of time, what I wanted to kind of do is just give a quick overview of what PIPSpro is and what PIPSpro can do. Excuse me. And then I will kind of just jump into the software very briefly, just kind of to show you the interface and a sample test or two. And like I said, in the interest of making this just kind of an overview and not taking a lot of your time today, we'd be more than happy to set up an individual webinar directly with you to kind of go through the software, answer your questions directly, and you can feel free to contact either myself or your regional or area representative, and I'll give you instructions on where you can find those if you're not sure of who that is at the end of the talk. But getting into PIPSpro, it's a filmless quantifiable TG-142 QA solution. It gives you automated analysis of over 30 TG-142 recommended tests, and that includes the tests of your planar 2D MV and KV imagers, cone beam CT tests as well. We do a number of different MLC tests, both image-based as well as log file-based. We do a stereotactic test, automated Winston Lutz, basically giving you a 3D calculation of your optimal shifts to get the isocenter centralized on with the LINAC. We do a radiation light field coincidence test. We do starshot analysis, and we have an IGRT database management system as well. So kind of jumping into the system as a start, it's based on a database, SQL database system, and the nice thing about that, it gives you scalability to be able to grow if you have an overarching group that oversees a number of facilities, and then have the personnel under those. You can set those up as a centralized unit, or if you're a small clinic just doing a single location, and just a 1 or 2, 3 Linux at a single site. Very easy to set that up as well. Beyond that, very easy to set up your departments and your individual users. With the user setup, there are different levels of security, so you can have different levels of access to the software, giving you the ability to see everything, possibly just only enter test results, set thresholds, things like that. Those can all be securely set up so particular personnel will have access to those capabilities and those components of the software. It's set up, can be set up on a Citrix server for the enterprise-wide systems. The nice thing about that too is we have tools within it, within PIPSpro, to be able to, if you have a centralized division, as we call it, that basically has the facilities underneath, you can compile all that data and kind of do a comparison of how the different sites are doing their QA, and compare results, etc. So that gives you a nice functionality to that as well. Again, the centralized data access for enterprise-wide results and trending, as I just mentioned. And we also have a set baseline for a number of tests, which give you what we call quick selects, and those are very quick access to a number of different tests within the interface. And I'll kind of touch on that as I jump into the software in a little bit. There's also within the system manager, as we call it, set up for your specific Linux. As you can see here on the left, you can set up and edit your Linux information, in this case, a 21EX. And then on the right, we have the set thresholds for a number of those tests. The nice thing about the thresholds is they come preloaded and preset for the TG-142 tolerances, but those are easily customizable, either broaden the scope or tighten the scope of those thresholds as you see fit. And additionally, we've recently added to the version 5.5 a dashboard, a QA results dashboard that basically shows you the specific tests, what those applications are, the last analyzed date, and then the results of those tests. Obviously, the green is a passing, red is a fail. There's also a yellow triangle which notes a caution but not a fail. So somewhere that falls just below passing but not quite failing will show up as a triangle in yellow. And the nice thing too, being a red circle, a green square, or a yellow triangle, different shapes in case there's issues with color blindness or not being able to denote the colors for some reason. We have different shapes for the different test results. So basically, we've got the starting out with our planar imaging, our MV and KV, utilizing two different phantoms. We have the KV phantom here and the MV phantom here, our QC3. Basically very similar in scope as far as the tools within the phantom. In the center, you can see there are line pairs, and then there's different density targets on the outside edges of the phantom as well. Here is an example on the right of the results page showing you those images. We utilize both the phantom image, and you can see the circles on the different regions of interest on the phantom. Those are automatically localized and scrutinized and analyzed. And the second one, image on the bottom, a flood field of the panel, showing you basically it chooses 5 different spots within the phantom, and then it chooses the darkest and the lightest point of the image as well, and that gives you your results for basically your spatial resolution using the line pairs, the uniformity, the contrast, and the contrast to noise, all automatically. And then those results here are color coded as well as numerical answering. And then moving on to the cone beam CT tests, again, we utilize test results from the CAT phantoms, either the 503 phantom for Electa, 504 for Varian, or also the diagnostic end of things with the 600 series. And your results, as you see here, you get a nice overview initially of your test results. The phantom is automatically analyzed. It will, once you bring in your image set, the software will grab onto what we call the key slice, and it will localize. And from that key slice, it will know the distances and the areas it needs to analyze. And those results, again, also come up automatically. And you'll have results pages like this, as you see, for the cone beam CT. You can choose and click on any of the results overview here, and it will take you right to the particular test slice for that test, and then those particular results as well. Again, like I said, everything is color coded, red, yellow, and green here for your test results. And we do tests for uniformity and noise, Hounsfield field unit constancy, so your density checks, geometric distortion, slice thickness, and low contrast visibility and low contrast detectability are all components within the phantom, within the CAT fan itself. And those phantom images come up and are analyzed automatically once you choose that image set. So again, very automated, very quick, and very comprehensive for the cone beam CT tests. The leaf speed test. This is a somewhat of a new test result for us. We added this in I believe 5.5 version of the software as well, and we have log file based tests for not only travel speed and leaf speed loss, but we also do it for segmental IMRT for step and shoot, moving window IMRT using the 4 cardinal gantry angles, and then we also do a repeatability or reproducibility test as well. Very easy results page to see on the right here, basically showing you each leaf position in the left bank or the right bank, as the case may be, that quantifiable leaf speed loss for the specific leaves. And this is kind of a representative test. As you can see, the central leaves are all passing without issue. The outer leaves tend to, because they aren't used as much, tend to collect dust and lubrication oil and grease, so they don't move quite as expected. So which is pretty normal from what I understand for a test of this type, where the internal leaves, the central leaves are utilized more and have a much better fluidity for the movement. And then the outer leaves are somewhat problematic from time to time. And then in the upper left of this, it shows you your worst 10 culprits of the leaf set, both on the right bank and the left bank, and what your biggest errors are for those 10 leaves, showing errors. And then lower left here, you can actually see and play what those leaf patterns will do. You can either utilize our set leaf patterns here. This is our reproducibility, repeatability test pattern. Basically a set of diamonds that fluctuates back and forth. We've got a couple of other simple leaf pattern where the whole leaf sets move across in unison, or we've got a complex where every other leaf moves for our leaf speed tests. But the nice thing about our leaf speed, it's a true calculation of the leaf speed. It's not an average and it's not a mean result. It's actual individual leaf measured quantitative leaf speed calculations. And we actually, if you want, at the end of the presentation, I'll have my email on there. We've actually got a nice white paper that kind of explains how we calculate our leaf speed as a true leaf speed, compared to some of the other systems out there which use an average or a mean leaf speed. So utilizing a true leaf speed gives you a much more realistic result of what you're looking for. And then our image-based MLC tests, we've got basically 3 different MLC tests for the image-based. We've got the multi-port or picket fence test. We have a leaf position accuracy test, and then we have a leaf transmission test as well. So you can see here the multi-port image for the leaf set, and then the multi-port results on the right. And then radiation light field coincidence test. This one utilizes our what we call our FC2 phantom, and basically it allows you to analyze either 15 by 15 or a 10 by 10 field of results for radiation light field. And the phantom itself, you can see, has set fiducials. These fiducials in the inner here representing the 10 by 10. These fiducials using the calculation for the 15 by 15. You set that on the phantom, you set your light field, and that is represented here by the red line. Then you deliver the radiation as necessary for the test. And then there's a green line, and I'm not sure if you can see it, but there's a green line denoting the radiation field. And because within the phantom these fiducials are a set distance that known to the software, it finds those automatically, runs the algorithm to give you the results, and then you have results showing up here in a displacement chart and then numerical as well. And then there's also another component which shows you the central axis point, the central crosshair point here, and that is also localized here, and you can see that the radiation crosshair displacement here and the red dot, or I'm sorry, the blue dot here. So that is probably well within specs. It's just a little over quite a bit less than about a 0.1 millimeter displacement there. So it's a very, very good result there. And the nice thing too about PIPSpro that I had in all the tests that you do here can be trended, and reports can be generated directly from the software for either PDF inclusion in the R&V system or hard copy for any kind of audit that takes place. So they're well available to have reports generated from the system as well. The starshot analysis can be done with either EPIT or film. It does starshot analysis of the gantry, the collimator, and the couch. And basically, it's very easy. It's a one-click analysis. You bring the image in, and then you just need to localize and click on the center, somewhere in the center of the starshot. The software will automatically localize to the true center of that starshot and the center of the rays coming through the center of the starshot, and basically then will automatically calculate, as TG-142 recommends, the smallest circle, as you see here on the right, that incorporates all of the rays of the starshot, and then gives you the actual size of that circle for the minimum diameter that's required or recommended by the TG-142 results. And then additionally, we have a stereotactic module, as we call it. It's an automated Winston-Lutz test. And basically what it does, you bring in it utilizes pretty much any type of ball phantom that you would use, either one that's included from the manufacturer, or then we offer also 3 different types. We have a pointer like you see here, which is a basic pointer on a basic stand. We've got a pointer that sits on a 3-dimensional micrometer adjustable base that gives you fine adjustment. And then we also have a standard Winston-Lutz type cube phantom that about I think it's about a 5 millimeter or 5 centimeter by 5 centimeter cube with a ball, a 4 millimeter ball in the center. But we can utilize and scrutinize either MLC or comb-based systems for stereotactic. And with this, basically, you bring in your recommended eight different angles, gantry angles, couch angles, collimator angles, and those are shown as optimal by what's in the manual. But you can use as few as 3, but using 8 gives you a much more accurate optimal shift calculation here. So as you bring these in, you'll see the green line outlining the square here for the MLCs, showing the radiation field edge that was found by the software. The green is that radiation center of that field. The yellow is the detected ball center of the Winston-Lutz marker ball, and then the in-plane and cross-plane deviations are here, and then those are used to calculate a true optimal shift here. So you can see in this the X direction, Y direction, and Z direction to get those optimal shifts. And you can do that couch-based, or you can do that with our adjustable Winston-Lutz Phantom and test that accordingly. So it really speeds things up. There's no manual measuring. The images themselves are brought in automatically from the system, so you can transfer those into PIPSpro and then automatically scrutinize and analyze as necessary. And then we also have an IGRT module. This is more of a basic module, more of a housekeeping database type module where you can utilize a phantom like our Mimi Phantom or something like the Pentaguide that is also out there. Some sort of 2D, 2D, 3D, 3D matching phantom that allows you to kind of scrutinize and check your perpendicularity of your imaging systems, your KV and your MV systems. So basically, as you take your test and you see those deviations on a daily basis in your X, Y, and Z direction, you can record those, and then you can trend those over time and report on that accordingly. So it's a quick and easy review of those test results, but gives you the overview of being able to kind of track either your 2D matching, your 3D matching, etc. So that's what we have for the IGRT module. And then we also have, I'll show in a second what's coming in version 5.7, but I just want to give a quick look at the interface to kind of show you how easily the system works. So let me bring up my software. This is actually a view of the dashboard itself. So you can see, as I mentioned, it shows the test and then the last time the test, and then also it was performed, and then the results there as well. So I'm going to hide this, and then I'll show you a quick view of the system manager. So the manager, as I mentioned, you set up your divisions here if you have an overarching group system that sits over departments, and then those departments report to. Your departments can be easily set up as well. Then you can set up your users, as I had mentioned. You can set them up to be administrative, a physicist, therapist, and give those groups different levels of security within the software to add things, change things, etc. Linux setup, very easy. You can enter in or edit any of your existing Linux, as you can see here for our sales clinic, if you will. We've got a whole host of different Linux we have set up. You can set it up with your type of imager, if you have a 60 or a 3D couch. So it has all this different functionality in there as well to record your different Linux. Your thresholds that I've mentioned utilize TG-142 thresholds, but those can be easily adjusted to loosen the tolerances or tighten the tolerance as you see fit. And then the Phantom themselves, we actually, nice thing about our Phantoms, our QC KV Phantom and our QC3 Phantom, they are actually calibrated to the resolution grids according to the manufacturers. So Varian and Elekta, they have published data on their R30, 40, and 50 numbers for resolution, and we actually check that frequency and calibrate those to the Phantoms as well. So they are calibrated Phantoms themselves. But just a quick, you can choose your machine. And the one nice thing about this too is that you can see up here it says TrueBeam 3D variant coordinate. So you can choose your machine, and that stays active. So if you can place this software on each console or at each console on the PC and utilize it just for that, or you can switch switch Linux accordingly if you have it on a say a laptop and you're moving things around, but you can choose those different Linux as necessary. The application itself, very easy. Choose your application. I'm going to jump into the Imager QA just kind of to show you how this how they actually works. And the nice thing about the Imager QA is, again, as I mentioned, we have what we call the quick selects, and you can actually jump right to any of your tests here. So, for example, I'll jump to the QC3 MV single image test. All I need to do is grab those images, and it's got a memory, so it'll always take you back to the directory where you got your last set of images. So if you have your images set to this set into this directory, it'll always go back there. So I can grab my 2 images, open them up, automatically imports them, reviews the image. You can see I can either review the image here. As you can see here, it chose and found the correct locations for the analysis regions. I can accept that or I can reject that, and then I have the ability to kind of fine adjust that. But if I accept that because it's finding it, brings in the flood field, and then it runs the calculation automatically. Takes just a couple seconds, about 10 seconds to scrutinize. And then gives you not only your resolution test, but also results, the uniformity, your noise, and your contrast to noise results here, as according to TG-142. Then you also get a MTF curve for the resolution test, and you can look at each of the individual results for those resolution tests as well, showing you a passing region, caution region, and your failing region. So that's one example of the easy interface for the software. Maybe one more. I'll just kind of jump into maybe the STEREOTACTIC test. I'll show you that real quick. I'll load my images. Brings those images in. As I mentioned, automatically does the analysis. Gives you the radiation field edge. Gives you the radiation center. Gives you the ball marker center, and then gives you calculates your optimal shifts here. So it's a nice, quick, easy test, automated. This is not it wasn't pre-set up before. I just brought the images in real time here and did the analysis as we sat here. So that's a nice, just a quick overview of the ease of the interface. Again, like I said, reports are easily produced here as well. So you have the ability to do that without issue and without any extra time really, because they jump right in and print right out to either, like I said, PDF or hard copy. And just kind of jumping back to, I knew that was going to happen. I went to the beginning. Sorry about that. I'll jump forward to. So, like I mentioned, PIPSpro version 5.7 is coming soon, and basically, there's three main components that we have improved or added to the PIPSpro 5.7 at this point, including a couple other small bug fixes that we had users had found that we have taken care of as well. But basically, we have a QA management software called QA Pilot. And that's a cloud-based system for basically allowing you to track, trend, and storehouse all your TG-142 or any of your QA tests, really, those results. And now we have the ability to have a QA portal that'll allow you to upload PIPSpro test results right into the QA Pilot. And if you want to learn more about QA Pilot, feel free to check in with your regional or your area rep as well, and we can set up a demonstration for that also. We also now have enhanced the marker detection for the cone beam CT QA module. We used to utilize the what we call the key slice, which had smaller pins, but if the phantom was not in the correct rotation or if it was slightly off, there would introduced some errors, and we've basically corrected that and enhanced the ability to detect those markers, making it a much easier phantom setup. It doesn't require quite as much precision to set the phantom up for getting the marker detection for those QA results for the cone beam CT. And then we also have enhanced our ability to utilize the TRF files for the leaf speed module for the Electa systems, for the Versa, Integrity, and what have you. So those are kind of the three main components of 5.7, and that should probably be available in the next couple of months. It's out on beta test at some users' sites now. But it should be probably, I would guess, second quarter, maybe middle to end of second quarter, by the time we get everything squared away, get everything passed through for regulatory and things like that. We're probably looking maybe end of June into July or so for the 5.7. So just kind of quick, finally, quick summary of the PIPSpro advantages. Everything in PIPSpro for the most part is giving you quantifiable and repeatable results. It makes it easier, basically, to become compliant with those TG-142 recommendations, which I know are looked upon by a number of regulatory groups for your accreditation and things like that. So utilizing something like PIPSpro gives you that quantifiable answer for that compliance. And again, we have a centralized database which allows for scalability for specific needs of a group of clinics, or even those single smaller clinics that do not necessarily have any affiliation but are independent. The results dashboard gives you the concise single view of all your recent results, as well as the dates of those last results were analyzed and the tests were done. Again, everything is quantifiable, and we use those very precise phantoms for our tests. It's got a very quick, easy, intuitive user interface for each component within the software. It's a smart software, so you'll for those phantoms with fiducials and test objects within, it automatically localizes and finds those fiducials and field edges for less mouse clicks and more automation. And like I mentioned, there's over 30 TG-142 tests in that single package, so it really is a nice package to have a whole modicum of tests for you to go to for that TG-142 requirements. But that's kind of all I have today. Like I said, if you want a more in-depth demo for PIPSpro or any of our software, really, feel free to contact your rep. You can find we have a rep finder that you can find on our website, either by clicking the account rep finder down here, or if you go to our company link up top, you can get directed to the rep finder as well. But if there are no questions, I'll take a look and see if we've got any questions listed. It looks like oh, okay, yeah, no problem. Like I said, we had a question on getting the white paper for the leaf speed. Feel free to contact us at Standard Imaging. Peter, I'll send that out to you directly, but we'll get that out to you. And if you have any other questions, I'll stick around for a couple of minutes. But otherwise, I thank you very much for your time, and I look forward to possibly setting up direct demos with some of you to see if PIPSpro is right for you. Thanks very much. All right, doesn't look like any questions are popping up, so I will close this down. But feel free again. You can contact your rep with any questions, and I'm happy to assist you any further. Thanks very much.